Bad news for POOH SHIESTY. He might as well get real comfortable in that slammer because he's probably never seeing the light of day.
New this morning, the federal government says rapper POOH SHIESTY is simply too dangerous to be out on bond. The rapper's real name is Lontrell Williams Jr. He is asking to be released on bond ahead of his trial. You may remember he and 8 other men, including his father, are accused in the January robbing and kidnapping of his record label owner, Gucci Mane. The other defendants, including Shiesty's father and rapper Big 30, they're already out on bond. But here's this new filing. Prosecutors argue Shiesty should not be allowed out under any circumstances. They say no condition of release can protect the community or witnesses against Williams Jr. from the danger he poses. It goes on to say the danger here is concrete. Williams Jr. himself has shot at least 2 people. He leads a Memphis street gang of about 100 members. Excuse me. They say he's a man who could summon an armed entourage at will. And they contend he did just that in Dallas in January. We'll let you know what the judge decides. The trial is set for February.
Now, don't y'all remember just a few months ago when he was charged, he had Bradford Cohen as a lawyer, and he was so confident that this case was weak. He even said, I don't even think that they can prove that this is kidnapping and that this falls under the jurisdiction of the feds. This should be a state case at worst.
So let's talk about POOH SHIESTY first. So I've been reading, what's going on in the case, and my opinion is, I did the bond hearing, I looked at the evidence. My opinion on the case has not changed. I think it's a very weak case for the feds. I think it's extremely beatable. I know people are talking about, oh, there's all this evidence, there's actually not that much evidence in terms of what went on, number one. Number two is, I don't even think the feds have jurisdiction over this case. I have no idea how it's a federal case. It, A, does not meet the elements of kidnapping for a federal case. B, there's a big problem in terms of an extortion about this mysterious contract that was signed but then never used, and no one ever talked about it. It never came out in anything. So how that was used for some sort of advantage, it's a crazy case. I still honestly think it's a great case. I know everyone says, oh, he got off the case because he thinks it's a loser. That's not true. When there's cases in different jurisdictions, I always do what's best and what's right for the client, as well as what's right for me in terms of my scheduling and how much time I can dedicate to a case. And that's kind of the big thing about it, is he's got 2 great attorneys that I think will do a very nice job for him. I think they're going to file the appropriate motions. I think the case is going to get dismissed, or it's going to be greatly weakened to the point where it's not really a case.
And that's why you got to love your lawyer, because your lawyer could blatantly lie to these people and have some of the best confidence in the world knowing that that's not true. And that's why I say that was all cap, because Bradford Cohen has one of the largest representation firms when it comes to the hip hop community. I mean, hell, he done got Kodak Black out of so much mess that Kodak Black is calling him his daddy. So when you have such a high profile case, this fits right up under you. Why would you pass up on this case? Why would you pass it to some other people you know? Probably because it's not what you're saying that it is. Well, just recently, the lawyers that got alley-oop to POOH SHIESTY through Kodak Black's daddy, Bradford Cohen, they tried to do a bail motion hearing, and they saying, hey, look, if Lontrell Williams Sr., Mr. POOH SHIESTY's daddy, could get out and Big 30 could get out, we're filing a motion to have the same type of bond. And they put together a package, their own evidence, all the things that POOH SHIESTY is paying them to do. But I'm gonna just tell y'all that was a waste of time and money, because the feds just dropped the ether on POOH SHIESTY. It was so much information of evidence submitted towards POOH SHIESTY, but we're gonna get down to the meat and potatoes of this situation, and we're gonna prove that POOH SHIESTY is pretty much cooked, and he'll be looking at the top of a jail cell for many more years to come. Now, one of the first pieces of paperwork that they would explain why Lontrell Williams Jr. is a danger to the community and he does not deserve to get out on bond would be this right here. It says no condition of release can protect the community or the witness against Williams Jr. from the danger he poses. The danger here is concrete. Williams Jr. himself has shot at least 2 people across 2 separate incidents. He leads a Memphis street gang of roughly 100 members, a gang that, as a Memphis gang detective has already testified in this prosecution, commits homicides, robberies, carjackings, and firearm and drug offenses. And when a business dispute did not go his way, he resolved it by luring the other side to Texas and putting a gun to a man's head. This is an individual who uses deception and violence to get his way. Electronic monitoring cannot answer the entirety of the danger that Williams Jr. poses if released, as a monitor tracks where Williams Jr. is, but nothing to stop what he orders done. Put differently, Williams Jr. on his own possesses a real and present danger to the community, but even more so, he poses a danger through the power and control he asserts over his gang affiliates. As his messages to fellow gang members highlight, Williams Jr. is a man who can summon an armed entourage at his will. He did exactly that for the January 10th episode, all while ordered confined to his home and while wearing an ankle monitor. Detention does not erase his influence over the gang, but it does put a barrier between him and the people who carry out his orders. William Jr.'s proposal to hire a private monitor offers no such barrier. Williams Jr. has already shown what he does with the people assigned to supervise him. He compromises them. He carried on a personal relationship with the VOA case manager who did his bidding and permitted him to travel beyond the bounds of his confinement seemingly undetected. A monitor of his own choosing, if anything, easier to corrupt than one imposing by the government. In conclusion, for all of the reasons, there are no conditions or combinations of conditions that would sufficiently migrate the danger Williams Jr. proposes to the community or his flight risk. According to the court, should deny his motion, decline to impose conditions of release, and continue to detain Williams Jr. pending trial. Now, one of the more important parts of that motion that we just read was that POOH SHIESTY was never doing right from the beginning. He made it seem like when he was doing his XXL interviews and stuff that he was on the straight and narrow. No, POOH SHIESTY was never on the up and up. He had an employee at the halfway house that he was, I don't know, maybe he was smashing, maybe he was flirting with her, maybe he was just using his influence. But for whatever reason, she was under his spell and she was giving him fake day passes to get out of the house and act like he had permission to be where he was, which is probably why his parole officer called him and said, "Hey bro, you are not supposed to be at that studio," right before he robbed Gucci Mane. And he said, "Yo, I'm on the way back." Right here in the paperwork, it says, unless given specific permission to do otherwise, Williams Jr. was required by these conditions to remain at his place of residence. But Williams Jr. routinely failed to abide by these conditions throughout the course of his home confinement, assisted in skirting these requirements through the help of collusive VOA employees. Investigators have now learned that Williams Jr. was involved in an inappropriate relationship with at least one of his VOA case supervisors, and that this VOA employee was actively involved in entering fake day passes that would allow Williams Jr. to travel to unapproved locations while he was supposed to be confined to his residence. Do you know how dumb you gotta be influenced by POOH SHIESTY to the point where you're risking your job and your career to let him just ride around the city when he's supposed to be at home? You just lost your job, your benefits. You may even be probably getting charges pressed against you just so POOH SHIESTY could ride around. He didn't like you like that, ma'am. You were probably just some in-house cat because he couldn't leave when he wanted to. Look at you now. You're shit out of luck. And the feds finally dropped their big one. The feds finally dropped their nuts on the table and said, "Judge, we're not even gonna waste your time. We got the footage." We finally got the video of them holding Mr. Davis hostage. One man got a Draco in a book bag. The snitch ass daddy got the paperwork. The stone cold junkie, Big 30, is the one who recorded it, and he tried to get rid of the evidence by slamming his phone on the ground because these dumbass niggas in 2026 don't realize that we can get it through your iCloud, buddy. And POOH, we got you on video too. Y'all was all in that room. Mr. Bradford Cohen, you were not correct. This is not one of those cases. Oh man, say it ain't so, man. Look at the man in the yellow posted against the wall. They done put a RD over his face. Y'all know what that stand for. Rager Davis, aka Gucci Mane LaFlare. This was the still shots of the video that Big 30 took. The man on the left has a Draco in a backpack. And to the right, you see POOH SHIESTY standing next to Gucci, where he's saying, hey, POOH is definitely off of the 1017 label. Good luck to you in your future. They got that man standing there like a post-game interview, dog. Not my dog Gucci, man. Listen, Gucci man took the mic and said, man, you know, I thought that POOH and his team came out real aggressive today, and they got the better of us. They had a lot of deceptive tactics that really took us aback. And you got to give it up and tip my hat to the Chopper Gang, man. They really came with very well equipped in this situation. And we just haven't seen a team play this physical in a long time in this game. So yeah, we're gonna have to give our hats to him, and it is what it is. Now the paperwork attached to these still shots says, unsatisfied with merely obtaining the written release of contract, Williams Jr. announced that he wanted to film RD, and Wright Jr. recorded RD on his cell phone, stating that POOH SHIESTY is dropped from 1017. All the while, the co-defendant, DeMarcus Glover, who had entered the recording room as the altercation ensued, blocked the door holding a Draco. And to the left, you will see Williams Sr. holding a document in his hand. That is the father in the middle of the recording room. Then you got Williams Jr. in the black. To the right, Roger Davis in the yellow. This is very, very bad. And last but not least, you want to know why POOH SHIESTY is probably never getting out? He's definitely not getting a bond because one of the security guards, who was a retired officer of Gucci Mane, wrote a letter to the judge. And when I tell you this one right here, it really touched my heart. And I'm really in fear of this guy's life, because look at the torture that he is describing of this situation. Dear Judge, this is CW, a victim and a survivor from the incident that occurred on 1/10/26. First, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to provide my statement in response regarding to the decision at hand concerning the bond for Lontrell Williams Jr. I respectfully ask that Mr. Williams remain remanded with no bond due to the safety concerns for me and my family. Mr. Williams was aware that I am a vested retired police officer, and that knowledge did not stop him from committing these actions. Because of this, I am deeply concerned about what he may attempt to do if he is released. Out of all the victims involved in the case, I am the only one who lives in Texas, and I am extremely fearful of his ability to reach me or my family if he is granted bond. His actions show a disregard for the safety and well-being of others. These alleged crimes were committed while he was already under government monitored release, which raises serious concerns from me about what would prevent him from causing further harm if given another opportunity. Prior to this incident, Mr. Williams was given a second chance and was granted bail/bond with monitoring conditions. Despite those conditions, he was once accused of committing another crime, and that resulted in a person being shot. My wife and I are both afraid of what the mindset may be if he is released.
Since the incident, I have found myself constantly watching vehicles passing my home, worried that he or someone connected to him may attempt to harm me or my family. I have young children, and because of this fear, I have limited their ability to go outside and enjoy normal activities as they should. Judge, I respectfully ask for you to consider the safety and security of my family and me when making your decision regarding bond. I believe keeping Mr. Williams detained is necessary to protect us and prevent harm. Thank you for taking the time to hear my concerns. Respectfully, CW.
Guilty! That nigga is guilty!
It's over with, man. It's over with, Pooh. Pooh, you ever seen what roaches do when you turn on the light? They all together, eating the same little crumbs off the floor. And then what happens when the light come on? They scatter. And that's exactly what's gonna happen with you, boy. Your co-defendants are gonna start separating themselves and start saving themselves. You see, you ain't treat them right. You put them boys on a bus to come from Memphis all the way to Texas. You ain't get them boys no lawyers. From what I'm hearing, they got court-appointed lawyers. It's only so long before they try to strike a plea deal or they got to start snitching. And when you got 8 co-defendants, somebody tell them. You got to ask yourself, it might not have been through Big 30's iCloud. I know that Big 30 probably sent that video out. And him sending that video out, that means other people have access to it. And guess what? Somebody probably got it. Somebody said, hey, send this to this number. I'm trying to get out of here. Yeah, you might have got told on, or it might have been Big 30 with the actual, in his phone. Either way, Pooh Shiesty, you gonna be all alone on this one, I promise you. And ain't no telling if your snitch ass daddy gonna tell. You see, it's funny because in FDO, you said your daddy a killer, but you not. You like Bronny James. You see how the karma turned back around? You're actually the daddy, and your daddy is Bronny James. I mean, what is gonna be your defense in this situation? Now, we was just having a business meeting. I ain't never seen a Draco at a business meeting where I work at. You wasn't supposed to be there. You told your parole officer where you was at. You had a fake day pass that got somebody fired. You're pictured in the same room as somebody that has a Draco in their book bag. You're not allowed to be around guns. You're a convicted felon. They're saying that you had a gun. There's witnesses. 5 witnesses is that. You're through. You might as well stop paying your lawyers to take this to trial and just go ahead and see if they're willing to strike a plea. But if I'm the feds, I'm sending your black ass up the road. There is no plea deal. The evidence is that strong. The case is that strong. I'm gonna get everybody to flip on you and I'm gonna make an example out of you. I'm trying to send you away for 50. Yeah, because you're already a violent felon. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation, man. I think he's cooked. Boiled, grilled, however you want to cook it, man. He's done. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. And we out, baby. Ooh.
IG-TheLaFlare.
It's him.